You'd think those long shutdown-induced TSA lines would be the great equalizer, but maybe not so in the era of expedited check-in through TSA PreCheck, Clear, and other programs. And at our nation's airports, to be a have or a have-not increasingly means you wait or wait not, because the uber wealthy are skipping the TSA lines altogether by chartering planes. The private jet business is surging as long security lines are forcing air travelers to show up at the airport several hours before their flights. We're joined now by Chris Tasca. He's the president and co-founder of Fly Alliance, which is a private jet company. He's ready, he's hydrated, because we have something to talk about here. Chris, thanks for being with us. Okay, first off, just tell us, how is business when it comes to private jets during this DHS shutdown?
Hey, Brianna, thanks so much, and thank you for having me. Business is great. We're seeing, I hate to say that we're prospering during this opportunity, but my partner and I started the business back in 2019, so we saw something similar during COVID. So during the COVID-19 era, we saw this new wave of private jet travelers. So specifically in the last couple of weeks, specifically considering the TSA situation, we've seen a surge of about 25% in business overall.
Okay, that's huge. And let's be real here. This option is still out of reach for almost everyone because it is very expensive. And recognizing, that there's a range on type of plane or distance flown, how much does it cost to charter a plane? And I'm also guessing that the folks who can afford this aren't too worried about a fuel surcharge in the days of increased fuel costs.
Yeah, really great question. So I'm proud to announce that we're one of the more attractive providers as it relates to pricing. Our pricing starts at $69.95 per hour, so approximately $7,000 per hour. And yes, our legacy and previous customers completely understand the fact that there's a fuel surcharge right now. That typically ranges of anywhere from 5 to 15% on their effective hourly rate.
Okay, so I have to ask you, because commercial airline passengers pay a 7.5% tax on their tickets. And they also pay this tax on flight segments, and that goes to the FAA, right? It goes to the Airport and Airway Trust Fund. And this is kind of a question that gets certainly to your bottom line here, because private aviation doesn't pay that. And commercial airlines are paying this 4.3 cent per gallon fuel tax. Private aviation pays way higher, which is 21.8 cents per gallon. But it doesn't cover that FAA handling costs of private air travel. And we're seeing this spike. Like you said, 25% is huge. We're seeing this spike in air travel. Is it going to prompt more of a conversation, as it has in the past, about private aviation maybe paying a little more when it comes to taxes, do you think?
Yeah, great question. So private jet travelers, just to inform you, do pay federal excise tax, which is 7.5%. That's in addition to our effective hourly rates. But as it relates to your question, again, one of the primary reasons that people fly privately relates to convenience. Previously, we saw your correspondent at the Houston airport, where previously there were TSA lines out the door. And one of the number one things that we often do when we get a new prospect or someone new to private jet travel on the phone, or if we're meeting them in person, is we educate them to the number of airports available to them. In the Houston area alone, there are 5 additional executive airports, which create this extremely convenient experience. The reason I mention that is, again, as it relates to educating our customer and providing them with a great product and service, what we do is we typically provide them with a 25-hour jet card or one of our private jet charter products. And from there, it gives them the opportunity to experience private jet travel without having to purchase an aircraft.
Yeah.
And in turn, like we saw in the early months of COVID, we developed an influx of new customers or consumers that quickly became hooked to private jet travel, and we've been servicing them since then.
It is really fascinating. They clearly would rather pay than not be in those lines. And certainly a lot of folks who might be able to afford it can understand that. Chris Tasca, great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on the show.